sound. This is Tom Blair with Inside Colorado Wrestling, doing another episode of Boundary to Boundary, Colorado High School Coaches. Our guest today is Eric Everard, the head girls coach at Vista Ridge. How's it going, Eric?
Going good. Thanks, Tom.
We're interviewing the coaches from around the state. This is a project, it's for 2 years. It ended up being a 4-year project. Trying to get all the girls coaches, which are 74 teams this year, and all the boys coaches, head coaches, which is 234. So let's give everybody a little background of yourself in wrestling.
My wrestling, no significant accolades like the coaches we have around our program. I wrestled in Wisconsin all the way through from little to growing up. College, never followed on to college. I wasn't academically astute, and then joined the military. I did do the Fort Bragg. We had a freestyle club there. People were training for all Army teams, so I got to practice there. But spent time in the military, deployed around the world a couple times, and ended up in Colorado, and this is the only place my wife and I could agree on, so we stayed here.
Okay. So what got you into coaching wrestling and coaching the girls team?
Well, coaching wrestling, when I left the military in 2005, I looked up the closest high school to our home, and that was Sand Creek High School in Colorado Springs. I messaged Troy Bonniwell, the head coach at the time, and he said, yeah, I could come in and help out. And here we are a few years later, and I'm still coaching. When Troy and I moved over to Vista Ridge in 2016, I was voluntold to start a girls program by him and the athletic director. So we started that in 2007 officially, and here we are in 2022, still going.
Okay. What have you seen in difference in the girls wrestling since it's been a probational sport and then a sanctioned sport?
Well, I think the growth, when we first started at Vista Ridge, we had Bella Mitchell was the only girl to finish the season that year. She went on to be a 3-time finalist and state champion in Colorado while it was being piloted. So going from 1, and we've had at least 14 girls the last 3 years, and I have 20 names entering this season. So seeing it grow from 1 to 15 plus consistently over the past couple years, and then across the state, going from 1 region to, I think it was 54 girls at the first state invitational, the girls invitational state championships.
Right.
To this year we have 4 regions of girls and 14 weight classes. So.
Okay, let's speak about the weight classes. We've gone from 10 weight classes last year to 14 weight classes. How is that going to affect the duels, and do you think more teams are going to be coming out, and do you think they're going to be filling out the squads?
I think eventually we'll fill it out. I was part of when the board met, when CHASA met and discussed the weights and voted on it. I think having the 14 weights, yes, we'll have weights unfilled, yes, we'll have more forfeits in the beginning, but the growth is there, and they're on par with the boys, because boys, there's weights we don't fill and have forfeits also. So I think it's important to what they did and add the weights so we have the room to grow. I think that will really, that helps to grow the sport instead of keeping it at 10 or moving to 12 and then moving to 13. I think we'll see a significant growth in women's wrestling every year moving forward.
Okay. How did your team do last year at state tournament and also during the season?
So last year, and I do want to give props, so Tori Adams, she coached the last 4 years. She was a head girls coach last year. She moved out to Oklahoma, Broken Arrow High School. But between Tori and I, we built that program from just a handful of girls to what we had. And last year, our girls team won their region and placed 5th at state as a team, which was only 1.5 points out of 3rd place. We qualified 7 girls and 5 of them placed. And then on the boys' side, we also qualified 4 and all 4 placed. So last year was a real pinnacle. I don't want to say pinnacle because we're not done, but we got reward for our effort over the past 5 years and surviving the pandemic and everything.
Okay. What are your expectations for this year?
Expectations is one, keep everyone healthy. So whoever starts the season finishes the season. Um, stay away from those injuries or people wanting to quit, but still have that challenging competition. And we only had we had 3 seniors graduate last year from the girls. I think I got that right. One was a state placer that graduated, but everyone else returns. And the culture that the girls have built with Tori all the way through, and then last year and again this year, we have Whitney Condor, who's a 5-time world team member, 6-time national champion, Olympic alternate. She's around the program also. So the mentorship I get from coaches like Tori and Whitney, who have not only competed on the highest level, but now coaching, helps me to be a better girls coach for what the girls need. And my expectation on me is to continue what they started. I think everything else will handle itself.
Okay. You mentioned some of your coaches for your staff. Who else do you have on your staff for coaches
Well, this year
for the girls?
For girls, it's just Whitney and I this year. Last year we had Tori there. We had a couple boys coaches leave too, but Corey can talk about all that. So this year it's just Whitney and I. She's on the World Class Athlete program, is in the Army and transitioning out of the Army. So I hope she is here the entire season and the Army doesn't say, here's your orders and get out until after February 18th.
Okay. Well, good luck in your upcoming season at Vista Ridge. This is Tom Blair with Inside Colorado Wrestling.